going to jump right back into this. What I offer on board, there is wildlife spotting, and for me, that's why you're going to use your binoculars. That'll be outside this afternoon, 4 o'clock. There's a couple of them throughout the journey, but in order to use your binoculars, you need to know how to use them, right? And that's why you're all here?
Yes.
Awesome. So who here has never used binoculars before? Alright, so everyone's kind of dabbled a little bit? Alright, so the point of this is to get them set to your eyes, your face, so that you can use them at a moment's notice as we go through this cruise. So one of the best things about binoculars is that they help strengthen the best sense for wildlife sighting. Your eyes are going to be your best sense. You might hear something, it might be super, super far away. You're not going to be able to pinpoint that sound. But with the binoculars, if you see something, you can bring them up and see them a little bit closer in person and get a better idea of what you're looking at. So between that, does everyone know all of the species up here? Someone raised their hand last week. I was like, all right, you have my job next week. Well, apparently they didn't take me up on that offer, so I get to stay here. But there's so much to see up here, and with your binoculars and your field guides, if you have any field guides, you're going to get to see so much stuff. If you don't have field guides, I have field guides, so come see me. It's great. All right, so with that in mind, there's a couple big parts to binoculars. Who here owns their binoculars? All right, so that's great. For those of you who don't own your binoculars and are interested in looking for some, I have a couple things to tell you. One, consider what kind of magnification, like how the distance, how far you want to see it, the field of vision, so like how big the ends are, and comfort. Comfort is going to be the biggest one. Get what works for you, and then weight. If you get really heavy binoculars, you're not going to want to carry them around on your neck. It's going to start to hurt. So get what works for you if you're interested in getting a new set of binoculars, or any field gear in general. But the most important thing that to look for in binoculars, in my opinion, is the neck strap. Alright, if you're anything like me, you might drop things all the time, run into things, knock things over.
We'll have a neck strap.
So, best thing to do is put the neck strap on right away, make sure it's sturdy, connected well, because also you're on a ship. If you lean over without this and you drop them, they're going down and you're never seeing them again. So this is a preventative measure to make sure you protect your investment.
Is that more of a high-tech binocular?
The next 3 main parts are the central focus, the hinge, and the diopter, and we'll go over each of those in general. Now I have noticed that there are some that don't have a central focus. There are apparently auto-adjusting binoculars out there, so if you have those, you can space out for that part of this presentation. But in the meantime, we're just going to jump right into it. So the first one is the hinge, and that's the part that moves back and forth, helps it get comfortable to your face, to your eyes. So in order to get this set to your face, what you're going to want to do is look through. I don't know, I mean, I see some birds over there in the bookshelves. You can look at those. There's an eagle and a tufted puffin, for an example. Yeah. So if you guys want to focus on those, or if they're too close, focus on something across the room. Just not at me. You don't need to see my face anymore. But just kind of start with them wide out and push them down until the 2 circles that you see become 1 circle at the other end. Now the caveat for this is that if it hurts your nose or it starts to hurt any part, stop pushing. It's all about comfort. Glasses do not make a difference. It's personal preference. You can do it with glasses, without glasses. It's up to you. Alright, so now that we've got the 2 circles to become 1 circle, we have the central focus. And that's the part in the middle, very aptly named, to help you get large scale or small focus on an object. If something's further away, it'll bring it into focus as we go. This is also sometimes called the flywheel. So this is, think of it as large scale details, okay? And then the next one, and some of them have this and some of them don't, is called the diopter. And this is what's really going to make it central to your eyes, set up just to you. It's usually on just one of them, but it's got a little piece right here.
On the front.
Got a little plus or minus on it. Now the
Oh,
trick
not
to
that
this
Always in the front?
is that you do it for both eyes, but
What
there's
about
only
this?
one knob.
What about this thing?
So you set it up
Not this thing.
just like you're doing an
Oh, I
eye
think
exam.
Yeah, it's that thing.
And you might need to ask a friend or a neighbor or someone to help you. But you cover one eye. It's hard to do with the mic as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
It's
great.
like fine motor.
Nice.
That's your point.
Thank you.
That's
My
what it does have.
assistant's name is Maureen. Nice to meet you. I'm Laura.
Absolutely. It does.
So you put it
This
up, you
moves,
cover
but
one
this
eye, and
does
you look
not.
through,
Oh.
Look at it. It's
and
actually really cool.
you adjust until it comes into focus. And then you do the same thing, covering the other eye. This is also where it gets confusing.
It fine
You're
tunes
looking
it.
at it, and
I
it's
never
the-
noticed.
It's the same dial, but it's just like an eye exam. So you get it set to your eyes because my left eye
This
is
is the best view for me.
way different from my right eye.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, if I take my contacts out, I
That's
can't see
because
past
it's like
here.
optic.
So it's really getting them
I
adjusted
like that
to
this is
yourself.
lightweight.
Yeah.
Now, once those are adjusted, as long as no one else touches your binoculars
No, we have
for the
to
rest of the
eye,
week,
eye vision.
no spouses, no siblings, or travel buddies, as long as they don't touch them, you should be good to go. If they touch them, you gotta start all over. With that in mind, going back to
We didn't know
how to find stuff. So quite often I'm looking at something and I see it and then I have ADD, so I turn away and then I come back and it's gone. The best thing is to do the exact opposite of what I do. You want to see something, keep your eyes on it. So I'll use the puffin as an example. Keep your eyes on it and then bring your binoculars up. And that'll be able to keep track of what you're seeing. Because if you turn away, you're going to lose it. But that way you can see it. Alright. So, even after all this effort, you get to see everything, we don't know everything up here, right? So the guidebooks are going to be a great example of a resource that you can use in this area. They're usually all organized in the same way. They've got, like, the mammals will be together, all the eagles will be together, and you can kind of start to tell the difference of how your guidebooks are organized to get you through the week. And again, if you don't have guidebooks, come hang out with me and we'll go through mine. Makes me happy. Unfortunately, I don't think they do. One thing that is really good though is Alaska Geographic comes on during Glacier Bay, and they have a couple guidebooks for sale. There's actually 2 of my guidebooks that they coincidentally also are selling, which are my 2 favorite ones. So there are some options for that, but in terms of the shops and everything, I don't think they have anything.
Binoculars here?
There are binoculars somewhere on the ship. It's either
Down in the shops.
down in the shops or in the photo area. I saw a Nikon set of binoculars over there. Not really sure how that connected, but I did see them. They are for sale on the ship. I'm just not sure what they have or anything like that. I'm not here to sell them to you. I just let you know what to look for in
you
them.
probably tighten and makes it tighter.
So back to the guidebooks. I think you guys can tell that size and shape are going to be a good indicator. You guys are, we got an eagle over here, right? And then what do we have on the other side? Right. So you kind of get a good idea of where to start in your guidebooks based off of the size and shape of the animal that you're seeing.
The animals are
The other things that are going to be very helpful are color. So these are both foxes, but they're different species. Who wants to guess what the one on the right is?
Arctic fox.
The one on the right?
Red.
Yeah, okay. The one on the right is the red fox, and the one on the left is the Arctic fox. Now, this is really cool because this Arctic fox, it is white. I mean, he has on his winter white coat. In the summer, he becomes like a grayish kind of color. So they've got different things. So seasons is going to be helpful for letting you know what you're seeing as well. But color is very straightforward, easy way to tell it. Someone asked me how the gray whale got its name as compared to the blue whale, and I was like, one's gray and one's blue. Scientists are not super fancy with their information all the time. Next thing is, for some animals we get a little bit more specific on what we need to be looking at to tell them apart. So for the markings on a bird, you might look at the head and the beak, the shape of it, the coloration. There's also the tail feathers. They might have shorter tail feathers, longer ones that have a cool little pattern on it. the legs. A lot of people overlook the legs, but there are two birds up here. One is the black-legged kittiwake, and one is the pink-legged kittiwake. Closely related, different species, all based off leg color. So that'll be a good indicator of what you're looking at as well. And then if there are any markings on the wings, some of them have different colorations. This guy's got the white spot and then the darker teal leaves. You guys have seen mallard ducks before? Yeah, so that's a good example of the coloration on the wings being a good indicator.
That's a magpie, right?
Yeah. So are there any other avid birders in here? Just you? Okay.
I volunteer at a raptor rehab.
That's all right.
Right.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about birds later. But so that's another good indicator of stuff that you can find in this area and how to get a good look at it.
They know what types of birds. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
So, one too far. All right. So here's an even better indicator and guideline for what you're going to see up here. So what you're going to look for with these binoculars,
That's cool.
you're going to look for harbor seals up by Glacier Bay. They should be up by the glacier that we get to.
That's when we.
Whales, you won't always get a tail coming up like this,
Barnacles.
but as we're outside and we're looking for
thought that was
whales,
the octopus.
what you want to do is relax your eyes, either through the binoculars or
Look
not.
at
Just relax
A
your
whale.
eyes like you're on
Killer whale.
vacation. And then a spout will come up. It'll look like a little mist puff,
Seal.
a little out of place. And that's going to tell you that there's a whale right there. That's the front of the whale. And you can kind of hopefully show up again. And if we get lucky, you'll get to see a tail like this. Orcas are in the area as well. I've seen them twice all summer. So if you see one, awesome, congratulations. And then there's bears that you can see from a safe distance. Sea lions, all of this is at Glacier Bay. And then there's a couple other things that are under the water that you might be able to see, like jellyfish or the northern Pacific octopus if you go to the Science Center in Sitka. But in terms of binoculars, this is all stuff that you can see up here. There's so much more. There's otters and puffins and bald eagles. All right. That is the northern Pacific octopus.
Oh, is it octopus?
Yeah.
I knew it.
So, do we have any questions about how to use your binoculars? All right. If you're still having trouble, I'll hang out for a couple minutes afterwards, just to help you get them set up if you still need help. But other than that, do you have any other questions?
I looked at all the parts of it.
Yeah. Are there no?
Up here, is it any different size wise or weight from the ones down in Puget Sound?
I don't know anything about the one in Puget Sound.
It's probably 8 to 12 feet.
Okay, I mean, they can probably get that big. This one is in a tank, so it's possible. I have no exposure to that, so I'm not sure. All right.
Oh, hello.
All right, thank you guys for coming, and if you have any
Quiet.
questions throughout the trip, I will be around.
Some surgeons. Okay.
Thank you.
That doesn't really